On this episode of Three Tool Players, we recap the first week of the season for our beloved Yankees, Phillies, and Mets. The Yankees are looking dangerous, and pitching is a large part of the reason why. The Phillies are being led by a rookie, while the veterans are shaking off a WBC hangover. And the Mets are unable to score runs, with Mendoza up to his old tricks again. All this and more on this episode of Three Tool Players. Welcome to Three Tool Players. I'm Chris Spear, and alongside me, as always, are the Hammer brothers, Brian and Dan Hammer. Say hello to the internet's fellas.
Hello to the internet's fellas.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Hey, it's the first week of baseball is behind us. The first week of the 2026 season is already complete, and it's amazing because there have been some really great performances. There have been some others where you're like, what is going on? We'll get into all of that. I think for two of us, we've had a little bit of an up and down week. And for the other one, it's been nothing but goodness so far, and we will allow him his moment to crow. Yeah, we'll give it to you. We'll give it to you.
I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to give us anything. Look, we had a very fun week. Okay, we have the best run differential in the American League as we speak, second in all of Major League Baseball behind Milwaukee.
Milwaukee just always seems to win, too.
So do the Yankees. We're firing on all cylinders. This Cam Schlittler kid, I know, Dan, you were all sorts of down on that kid last postseason, and man, he is just showed everybody. He has showed you. He has showed everybody that this guy has come to pitch, and what an amazing time, too. You have him, Max Fried, bringing in some really great starts, and against a decent team in the Seattle Mariners too. I mean, that's not a lineup to sleep on, man. So
nope. That's a broken lineup with Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. They're still trying to go through the motions from the WBC.
Oh,
so what?
The
got
fist bump gate is still alive.
Oh, stop with that!
You got Seattle at the right time to play because they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure it out.
Stop!
Internally.
I don't care about the big dumper and Zendaya trying to hug it out. I want everybody to understand that the evil empire is not to be denied. We're coming back with vengeance. This is where we're going to strike back. And I'm looking at the rest of these teams throughout the American League anyway, and they're all going to be quaking in their boots. Oh, not to mention the fact we absolutely crush it when it comes to complaining about balls and challenging the ABS. Again, the New York Yankees are setting the precedent for the entire Major League.
Yeah, you got to give at least some of this to him. I mean, I hate him.
The whole time that Brian was talking, all I could think of was like he kind of sounds like Janosch explaining Vigo.
No,
so I mean, he's like all the other teams are like the buzzing of flies.
You're dealing but the buzzing of flies to Vigo. It's Vigo. It's Vigo.
You're like the buzzing of flies to him, eh?
Here's the stat that I think is really interesting. The Yankees allowed only 3 total runs through their first 5 games. This tied a major league record held by the 1943 St. Louis Cardinals for the fewest runs allowed in that span in 83 years. And they did that largely on the back of pitching. The pitching has been outrageously good. We've talked about the aforementioned Cam Schlittler, who threw 11 2/3 scoreless innings across 2 starts with the Giants and Mariners, allowing only 3 hits while he struck out 15. That's outrageous.
He's a stud.
And of course, Max Fried came back just like he did last year. Cy Young Award candidate last year, should be again this year in the season opener, which was on Netflix, by the way, and I want to get back to that in a second. Mm-hmm. Fried threw 6 1/3 shutout innings, allowing just 2 hits to the Giants. As a staff, in the series against Seattle, the Yankee starters combined for a stretch of 16 consecutive scoreless innings. That's outrageous.
And think about this, too. You go back to Max Fried just for a second, that Seattle game. He threw 7 scoreless innings on 90 pitches. You talk about being efficient. This is something that if we could keep replicating this throughout the year, keeping our arms as fresh as they can be and efficient, we're going to be damn dangerous. We're going to be even more dangerous when Cole comes back. When
that's the thing.
Rodon potentially comes back.
The reinforcements are coming. It's insane.
Oh, my God. This is literally, on the 5th day, look to the east for my coming. This is the 2 towers. Telling you, it's going to be absolutely sick and exciting. I just hope that our bats are still there, not afraid.
The bats have been there early. Aside from Aaron Judge's golden sombrero in the first game, which we all had a good chuckle about. We all had a good chuckle about Judge wearing the golden sombrero in game one, right? 4 strikeouts, 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts.
Yep.
But then Aaron Judge is like, oh wait, hold on. I'm Aaron Judge,
I'm
and
Aaron Judge.
I'm very good at baseball, and I'm going to pound the ball as deep as I possibly can, and then I'm going to do it again the next day, just in case you weren't paying attention. And oh, by the way, right behind him is Giancarlo Stanton, who's hitting bombs back to back, who's hitting the ball really hard. He had a 114.4 mile an hour single
Yeah.
opening night.
Yep.
He is absolutely tearing the cover off the ball right now. And if Giancarlo Stanton
He's
can
batting
stay
500
healthy,
right now. He's
Yeah.
Well,
insane
he's
right now.
batting. Yes, he's absolutely. You said it, Spear. He's batting 500. So he's feeling good. But here's the thing: how long can that last? All right, how
until he
long?
rips out his tennis elbow.
Until he
Or
rips out his
elbows.
tennis elbows,
One of
or
them.
he pulls a quad, or he opens the fridge wrong, or he looks at somebody weird in the dugout and he cricks his neck. I mean, literally, there's an over and under for anything that's going to happen to this guy. So we're enjoying the good times as they roll right now, but it's a marathon of a season, and if we can all just appreciate coming together and doing it at the right time, we're going to be very dangerous. I can't argue that whatsoever, and neither
Well,
can most.
The very first Yankees game was that Wednesday night game on Netflix, which was god awful.
Mm-hmm.
And Netflix should not have any more baseball games ever. There was way too much Netflix in the whole thing. It had too much cross, synergies or whatever. It's like the marketing team got a hold of a baseball game script and decided they wanted to just make a series out of it somehow. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Spear, how dare you? I own plenty of stock in Netflix. And
Well,
I can
get
only
on
say
it
good
then.
Things.
Terrible.
Always say good things about the Netflix people. Thank you, Netflix people. You're doing a bang up job, and I'm proud of you. And
Terrible.
I hope you get more opportunities for broadcasting rights.
Terrible.
Yeah, I feel like with all the changes that the MLB has done with the ABS, with the pitch clock, it just seems like the baseball games are flowing a little bit better. We're baseball lifers, all of us. We're used to games going longer, but with all the things that I feel like MLB has done, it just wants the game to move along a lot faster. It just seems like it's a better watch now. What do you guys think?
Which is what
Well-
I think Major League Baseball has been trying to do for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
As ratings dipped with baseball games on TV, they needed to find ways to speed it up. What I liked is that baseball didn't do what Netflix did, which is try to engage with the audience. They let the game just come to the viewer, but they made it come to the viewer faster. And that's as much for the people in the stands too.
Mm-hmm.
The only change to baseball that I don't like in the interest of speeding it up is the free runner and extra innings. That makes me crazy. I don't enjoy that. But they do away with that for the playoffs, which is fine. I think early returns on ABS have been very positive. And the answer to the trivia question, which is the first team that made an ABS challenge, is the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
But the answer to the trivia question, who had the first successful challenge, is the Mets. It'll get better over time. And I think it'll make umpires better over time so that they don't have to hear it from Aaron Boone. And this was probably my favorite thing that happened early on in the season with ABS is Boone is nuts. And he started chirping at the umpire because he got 4 or 5 calls in a row wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
So Booney starts chirping from the dugout and the ump got pissed.
Yep.
Shut up. I asked you guys this question the other day. If you set the over under at 9.5 for number of times Booney gets thrown out this season, would you take the over?
I don't know
think-
about that.
I think 10 is a
wait a
big
second.
number.
You even said 6 before.
Yeah.
I said
The
6,
over-
but I'm
five
raising
and a
it.
half.
I'm
Oh,
raising
so,
it.
Five and a half.
I'm raising it.
I'll take the under for that.
Yeah,
but
I would
do
take the
feel,
under too.
I do feel that he's going to be around 7. I
Yeah.
feel like 7. 7's a good number for Boone.
I'll take the over. He's crazy. And
No.
the more he gets an excuse to chirp at the umps, and you got to figure at some point the umps are going to get fed up with having their calls overturned. At some point, they're going to get kind of grouchy. Like I even heard one of them on a hot mic go, "Oh God, please be a strike." You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's going to be rough.
And you know something? Umpires should be quaking right now because if this system turns out to be as good as it's showing in the early going, umpires could get literally taken out of the game within the next 10 years. You watch.
Well, if the ABS system is here to take over the umpires' jobs, We should probably talk about a few players on both the Phillies and the Mets who need to be worried for their jobs because there has been some very poor play. We'll start with the Phillies. The Phillies have been a little up and down there, Dan. And right now I think you got to look at some of the
Oh,
big stars on that team that have been absolutely asleep for the past few games.
So I went to the game on Sunday. I left right after I ate my shore bomb Sunday because I just couldn't take it anymore. And shore bomb Sunday was decent, but I really do think that the sandwich or
The
whatever it's
deep
called,
fried Uncrustable.
the Uncrustable. It was good, like the outer dough part, but when you get into like the middle with the peanut butter and the strawberry jelly, it just over masks the awesomeness of this sundae because all the other ingredients in there, they had fruity pebbles, they had a strawberry drizzle and vanilla ice cream. It was beautiful. Loved it. But then when I got to like the peanut butter and jelly, brutal. Just like watching the Phillies.
Absolutely. I was like, Dan, where are you going with this? Because I'm ready to pounce to say you basically just described your team's play.
Oh, I was
Brutal.
like, this is great.
Brutal.
I was like, oh, I absolutely love it. This is so good. But then I got to like the peanut butter and strawberry jelly. I was like, this is brutal.
Well, it's a shame you didn't like the Sunday.
No.
Schwarber himself isn't doing much better. Well, I mean, he's hit a couple of home runs.
Well, let's get into it. All right. The first three batters, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper.
Yes.
Straight
All of
garbage.
all of them below the
Sh-
Mendoza line.
Straight garbage. I mean,
Schwarber is
like,
batting a buck 82. Turner is a buck 92, and Harper, bats are afraid. Harper is batting a buck 20 with 10 strikeouts in
but before
25 at
that,
bats.
he was batting 0.87. I think he was 2 for 22 until he hit a home run
Yep.
last game. It shot up about 50 points for him or 40 points. But watching them and even going to the game on Sunday is just you see your big guns come up and you're like, all right, we're going to turn it around now because we're playing the Nationals. We have Jesus Luzardo that we just signed instead of Ranger Suarez. Yeah, he was hitting some good spots, but the spots that he was missing, the Nationals capitalized. And what can you do about that?
To,
It's
to the tune of a 13-2 loss.
yeah.
Mhm. It was ugly.
The Sunday game I went to, that was the Rangers. Did the Phillies have to lose as bad to the Rangers as they should have? Absolutely not, because you know what? Bats were afraid. I mean, it was not a fun event. Watching these past couple games, I mean, like the only thing that was the shining spotlight, actually, there was two shining spotlights. Let me take that back. Justin Crawford, I absolutely love our rookie. I mean, guy gets up and you know that he's going to make contact to the ball. He may get out or whatnot, but you know what? He's going to put the ball in play. And you can see that I'm like it's a testament to what his batting average is now. You know that like in AAA he was batting like in 340 or like when the heck is this guy coming up? And look, first 5 games he's batting over 400. I'm like this is what we needed. We needed a spark at the bottom of the lineup. So we can thank Johan Rojas for trying to boost up his muscles with the PEDs because if he didn't do that, then he would be platooning with Justin Crawford. I didn't want any of that. I wanted Justin Crawford to just get in there and just be the everyday center fielder.
A few things about Justin Crawford in his first week. He was the first Philly to record a hit in his first career at bat on opening day since 1970.
Damn right.
He finished that day 2 for 4 with a run
Hmm.
scored. He had a 3-hit game against the Nationals the other day. He's the only, like you said, Dan, he's the only consistent hitter right now in that lineup. But a rising tide raises all boats. And you got to think that Justin Crawford is kind of showing the old guys, hey, look, old men, let's go. I mean, I
This is
got you.
this is how you put bat to ball.
Right. Let's go.
Yeah, he's great at the bottom of the lineup, just to get on base, to turn over the lineup to our heavy hitters. But you know what? Nothing's happening once the lineup is turned over. He gets on base and then 1, 2, 3 after. I'm like, how does that make any sense?
I'm going to tell you how it makes sense. The WBC. I said it before, I'll say it again. These guys are coming off of a huge emotional roller coaster, and they're just sputtering into the beginning of MLB season. They need a little bit of time to readjust. I'm telling you now, I saw it with Judge. I'm seeing it with your lineup, Dan. I'm anti WBC.
So there's something to be said for the fact that the WBC has a little bit more adrenaline going versus the very beginning of the baseball season where the stakes aren't nearly as high. The WBC is a high pressure environment, so it gives these guys a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit something to play for. I think this is probably just a come down from the WBC, and they'll have to figure out how to get it going again. I mean, Judge wearing the sombrero that first night was probably a little bit of a WBC hangover. His lasted one game. Looks like Schwarber and Harper are taking a little bit longer to get over the hangover.
I have to disagree. Every game counts. It's early, whatever. But do
Hey,
you really want
come
to be
on.
fighting for a spot? Do you really want to be fighting for a spot in September? No. You want to make sure that you're firing all cylinders. And might I point out, you're getting paid to play in Major League Baseball games. That's what your contracts are for. That's what Harper's getting his 300 million plus. That's why Schwarber's getting his 150 plus to play Major League Baseball games.
Yeah, I hear
So
you. I hear that they're supposed to be professionals and they're supposed to play every game, but you got to admit that the stakes are a little lower for game two versus game 162. You got to just admit that the stakes are lower and the adrenaline isn't there. Yes, they have to be professional and yes, they have to play the games. That's what they get paid to do, but there's no way the stakes are the same in game two versus game 162. No, not a
I'm
chance.
glad you're not a major league manager, Spear, because if
Not
you
a
and I were
chance.
competing managers, I would literally have my guys like robots. I'd be like, you must perform
Jesus
every
Christ.
time. We will not deviate. Seriously, your whole, oh, it's okay. We're gonna do just great when we get to May. You'll see how we're all gonna just click. Stop it. You
Okay.
lost your first
All
month of
right.
the year, and now you're trying. That's the kind of talk that gets you bounced out of the playoffs like they did last year.
That's the kind of talk that gets you to lose your job as a manager because everybody in the clubhouse hates you.
That's fine. I'd rather you respect me instead of love me.
Nobody's going to
Get out of
respect
here.
you. They're going to want you thrown the
You
hell
can hate
out.
me all you want. And this is what I'm telling you. Like everybody's getting soft these days, right?
Here we go.
I remember my manager, back, in Little League, spitting tobacco and telling me that I suck, right?
Spitting
And do
tobacco at
better.
you in Little League. Great picture.
What?
That's all right.
And I cried. Absolutely. I cried. But then I sucked it up and I was like, all right, you're right. I got to get better. And these kids today, it's all good job. Good job. You're doing
You
a
know who you are
fantastic
right now?
job."
You're Tom Hanks
am
from
I?
A League of Their Own.
That's who I am.
Lazarus Hornsby was my manager, and he called me a talking pile of crap. And that's when my mother came to see me play that game. That's you right now.
And did I cry?
Did I cry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why I didn't cry?
Why?
You know why?
No
There's
crying.
no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
She's
No
crying, sir.
Crying, sir. That's how I feel.
The thing is, I mean, like, yeah, I'm not for the WBC. They're playing down because of the emotions. F that. I mean, like, if that was the case for all the players from WBC, then everyone would be on the same level. But you see, Vlad Guerrero is hitting over 300. I mean, like, he's fine. Fernando Tatis is batting close to 300. He's fine. Look at Juan Soto. Jesus, man, he's batting 346 already. But the thing is, I mean, like for the Phillies, I'm like, dude, I was like, the first three guys, our biggest names are Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber. They're not really doing anything. I mean, like our pitching, thank God that the Phillies signed Chris Sanchez for another 6 years because he's our ace. And then Andrew Painter coming in to become.
Well, don't gloss over Nola. Hang on. Don't gloss
No,
over
no, I'll
Nola.
get back to him. I
Yeah,
will
Okay,
get
all
back
right.
to him.
Okay.
All right, I'm putting out like the spotlights on the Phillies, and then I'll get to the garbage bin. All right.
Wait, hold
All
on.
right.
Nola did okay.
No
All
one
right, go
said
ahead.
he did okay. Nola did.
No,
Fine.
Nola did okay.
Nola
Yeah.
did okay in Italy, but you know what? It's still the same old Nola. I'll tell you
What are you
what.
talking about?
But
He 5 innings pitched with 7 Ks in a no decision. I
and
mean,
three runs. That wasn't a quality start. If he got to inning six, then I would say, okay, he has a quality start. But you know what? He's not there yet. And
You
know
hear
what?
that, Spear? Daniel has high standards.
high
I have-
standards.
I have high standards right now. And the thing is, if he went 6 innings and gave up 3 runs, I'll be like, all right, that's a quality start. But no, he went five and he had 7 strikeouts. That's good. But you know what? I need better out of you, Aaron Nola, because you know what? You're supposed to be an ace. I remember I was watching the end of the game that thank God that we have Justin Crawford and he came up at that moment to win the game. Because the thing is, at the end of the game, they're showing the pitchers that were coming up to our pitcher probables. All I saw was, all right, our next pitcher that's going to be coming up is Nola with a 5.4 ERA. And then after that is Jesus Luzardo with a 9 ERA. And then after Jesus Luzardo is Taiwan Walker with an 11.57 ERA. I'm like, God damn. I was like,
But then there's Andrew Painter.
yeah.
Are you still high on paint, Dan?
Totally high on paint, man. I was like, this is one of the shining lights for the Phillies organization. Both Painter and Crawford are two of the shining lights that hopefully will get us to the dance in October. But there's a lot of work, man. It seems like the hitting is not there. Even like our bullpen was supposed to get like an upgrade with Brad Keller, some of the other guys that came over to Kyle Backus. It hasn't panned out yet. And it just seems like everything is just out of sorts for the Phillies. And right now, it's just not a fun watch. It's kind of like, I just need to bear through it, and hopefully, like they can pull out a win. That's how I'm feeling right now for the Phillies.
That's a tough first week. That's a tough
Well,
first week.
it's a tough first week, and I'll tell you that even from just the overall National League, Dan, you guys have the worst run differential at
Oh, thank you,
negative
Brian.
13.
Appreciate it.
I just need to point that out to you that your bats need to wake up a little bit
Oh,
here,
I
and
appreciate your concern.
you're going to
I
do
do.
great things when they do because, listen, it could be worse. You could be the White Sox. You have a negative 31 over there on the south side of Chicago. And you could be Boston, right? They're negative 15. Oh, that makes me so happy that they're in last place and they're 1-5. Knock on wood. We stay there. But Dan, honestly, there's still a lot of baseball to be played. And when your guys overcome the hangover that is the WBC, you'll be a middling, toiling team fighting for that wild card. So keep up the good work.
Well, the Mets don't have that particular problem with the WBC. You know, Clay Holmes pitched in the WBC, and now he's doing really well. Soto was in the WBC; he's doing well. Explain to me what the issue is with the Mets. The Mets aren't just failing to hit; they are now historically inept in clutch moments. After opening day, the bats are afraid. In the Cardinals series, the Mets went a combined 1 for 29 with runners in scoring position. I'm going to underline that. They went 1 for 29 with runners in scoring position. It's not that they didn't get people on the bases. It's not that they weren't causing traffic. It's they could not come through when it counted.
Didn't you guys
Since
have
the
bases loaded with 0 outs or 1 out?
That's right, and they did not score.
Oh, beautiful.
Since the opener, they have averaged just 2.4 runs per game. It's a disaster. And this to me is what you got to be worried about as a Mets fan. Bats are afraid when runners are on base.
Sounds like a Glenn Ross type of situation. They just can't
Yeah,
close.
can't
Coffee's for
close.
closers.
You got to be closing. And there's nobody in the Mets dugout right now who should be drinking coffee. Bo Bichette shouldn't be drinking coffee by his own
No,
admission. By
not
his
even
own admission,
close.
he's been waiting for the booze in his first week of being a New York Met. Bichette is hitting a buck 11 with 3 RBIs and a
His
249
OPS.
OPS.
His
249.
OPS being 249, like that is god awful.
He's striking
Dreadful.
out. He's striking out left and right. I mean, granted, he's making the adjustment to third base, so it's tough. He's making the adjustment to third base. He's making the adjustment to New York, and I suppose you got to wait for him to kind of get after it. But early returns on Bo Bichette are not good.
Remind me again what you guys are paying this man.
I don't. I'm not. Don't worry about it. It's too much.
I think it
You
was
want to talk
42 million,
some-
right?
42
60
million.
some million?
60,
42?
yeah. Whatever it is, it's too much. You want to talk about paying too much? We're paying over $300 million for Francisco Lindor, who can't be bothered to remember how many outs there are in an inning.
Now,
He's
if
too
someone,
important.
I'm gonna
How
tell you,
should he?
if someone needs coffee, I think this guy needs to freaking wake up. Absolutely. How do you not know how many outs there are in a freaking inning?
In the first inning.
First inning.
In the first inning.
First inning. It started
Okay.
right off the
Oh,
bat. Right
I
off
love
the
how
bat.
I love how both your voices just go.
It was hilarious to watch.
But I've had it. I've had
I
it with Lindor now. I've had it with Lindor. I've had it with
I
the
know.
Mr. Smile. I've had it with all of the BS with Lindor. Like I can't take it anymore. I can't. The platinum Glover. He's making mistakes in the field. He's making mental errors on the base pads.
How about that? Let's talk about that.
He got picked off
Yes.
on first base at a crucial point where they needed runs, and he was playing with his gloves. They caught him sleeping, and they picked him off.
Spear, you did not finish it.
What didn't I
happened
finish?
after he got picked off? Juan Soto hit a
Oh, that's
freaking
right.
home
That's
run.
right. That's right. So he gets picked off, And Juan Soto hits hits his first home run of the season. He got really excited when he hits the home run, by the
It would
way,
be two
right?
nothing too. They would have won the game.
No.
It was all on Francisco Lindor just for being picked off at first base. Mets lost.
Now look,
How do you figure the war in that situation with a guy like
negative.
that,
It's
right?
negative. It's
It's
negative
negative.
war. It's negative
It's
war.
negative war.
You,
You gave up a run. He
you get
was giving up errors early on with the lack of outs. I mean, luckily they got out of that inning, but ultimately this guy, he's the big casino for your staff, my friend. He's the
well.
cancer.
So an argument will be made that this is what Lindor does early, right? Lindor has been a habitually slow starter. When he first came to the Mets in 21, through his first 44 games, he was slashing 181, 289, and 263. And New York got on him because it's like, hey, dude, we just gave you all this money. Get after it, you know?
Figured out.
24, same thing. 2024, he went 0 for 24 to start the season. 0 for 24. And was still hitting under 200 as late as May 20th, the third week of May, before he finally figured it out, locked in. That was after the whole Grimace thing, right? The Grimace, the closed door meeting. He finally locked in, and he was a 30-30 guy and a top 10 MVP finisher, and they went all the way to the National League Championship Series. And then in 2025, he got hot early, but then fell apart in the midsummer. So it's weird. I don't care much for him at this point. He's not my favorite Met. He's never been my favorite Met. The mental errors. Last year, his glove was terrible. I can't with Francisco Lindor anymore. And like you could say, oh, he's coming back from the hamate injury to his hand or whatever. And there's going to be some lack of power early on. Okay, great. That doesn't make up for any of the mental errors. It doesn't make up for how he's not lifting the team. He's supposed to be your star. Like I'm with Dan. Your stars should be lifting your team. When you have rookies or new arrivals that are raising this team up, that's a bad sign, man.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I feel like you guys hit lightning in a bottle with Luis Robert. He's already started producing for the Mets.
That very first game against Skeens, he worked out like an 11 pitch at bat, gave Skeens everything he could, and that was it after that. Like Skeens was kind of lost in that inning after that, and the Mets chased him in the first inning. He's batting 316 with a 932 OPS early. He's only got the one home run, but it was a 3-run walk-off home run in extras against Pittsburgh at a game that I was at, which was cold. It was really cold. And I wasn't really interested in being there. But there was Lou Bob hitting a dinger into the wind. And I can't tell you how windy it was that day. The wind was blowing in from left field, and he hit it out there. And I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. But Lou Bob, I think you're right, is going to be he's going to be something else for the Mets. There are some things to like about the Mets. But the one thing I think you really have to like early is the starting pitching. David Peterson looked good early through 5 1/3 scoreless in his debut. Clay Holmes has looked good in both starts. He went 5 2/3 the other day with 2 earned runs and 5 Ks against the Cardinals. Senga looked good.
He
9
did.
strikeouts.
I even told you that. I told
9
you. I was like, he
strikeouts
looked
over
decent.
6 innings. Yeah, Senga looked good. He allowed just 2 earned runs. Mets couldn't close the deal. Freddie Peralta's looked good. In his debut as a Met, he graded out 5 1/3 innings in the opener. He's rocking about a 4.5 ERA right now, but I think that'll come down over time. Nolan McLean looked good in his first start, went 5 innings with 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, all your guys look pretty decent. I mean, like, I have 2 pitchers that I'm hanging my hat on, but then the other 3, I'm like, uh,
But the Mets can't score. But the Mets can't score, and that's the problem.
neither can the Phillies.
I mean, the Mets are wasting all of this good pitching. And oh, by the way, Carlos Mendoza is shooting himself in the foot. And if I have to see Dickie Lovelady make his way to the mound one more time, I'm gonna lose it. Dickie Lovelady came out, a horrible name, by the way, to be on the Mets. Dickie Lovelady.
I disagree.
Dickie Lovelady came out. Dickie Lovelady came out in game 1 through 21 pitches. Mendoza put him out there again in game 2, and he got shelled. And you're like, what are you doing? Then he puts him out again. He keeps putting him out there over and over again. He keeps saying, well, I can't use my high leverage relievers because they were used yesterday. Are you kidding me? Get Brooks Raley out there. Get the airbender out there. I don't care. Use your best arms to try to win the game. And
careful what
look,
you
I know
ask
what
for.
I know what you're going to say about the Airbender, but he's looked good in his first 2 appearances for the Mets. He's looked good. You got to start using the guys that you're going to rely on to win games. If you're going to listen to your drill sergeant manager over here, Brian Hammer, you play to win the games. You put your best guys out there to try to get the highest amount of leverage to win the games. You do not keep sending out Dickie Lovelady. Come on. Mendoza will not be the Mets manager at the end of this season if he continues to do the same things he's been doing with the bullpen, leaning into his favorites, not putting the right pitchers in for the right situations, and finding ways to lose games. He will not be the manager at the end of this season if that keeps up. Look, the Mets need to get their stuff together with runners in scoring position. That's the Mets' problem right now. The Mets need to hit when it counts and get the runs across the plate. That's what the Mets need.
You know, you guys are
what the
missing.
Mets actually need? You know
What?
what the Mets actually need?
What do they need?
Right-handed pitcher Dan Hammer.
Right-handed pitcher Dan Hammer, by the way, who's pitching for the Syracuse Mets.
Get right-handed pitcher Dan Hammer on the case. He needs his own like theme music.
Dude, right-handed pitcher Dan Hammer. Dude, he does hit 97. So,
yes, he does.
He does.
The ladies love him.
Right-handed pitcher Dan Hammer has only appeared once for the Syracuse Mets this season. He's got no ERA. He pitched pitched 2/3 of an inning. He gave up a hit and he struck out 1. So right-handed pitcher Dan Hammer is on the case at Syracuse.
That man is a stud.
Mowing him down.
We're coming up to see you, right-handed pitcher Dan Hammer.
That's right. Sean Mania, yeah,
road trip.
I'm getting your spot. That's
right. That's right.
You got to keep that love lady. You got to keep that love lady.
Just, God,
what a terrible! I just looked at that guy's career. How does he have a career? I'm. That's right. He's a left-handed pitcher. Left-handed.
That's right. That's right.
All he is.
Poor right-handed Dan Hammer doesn't have a chance.
That's right. That guy, he's got to go uphill, but that's why the ladies love him.
I'm already in midseason form with the Mets. I have a fair amount of hatred. I have no hope. I have negative hope. But you know what? We'll go with Brian. Brian was saying earlier, it's early.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you got to give the opportunity for the weather to warm up a little bit. Balls start flying out. We'll see.
Let that regression to the mean occur. All right. So give it some time. All right. You need a much bigger data set. Like I said, you can't take some of these early games for granted either. All right. So
no, you can't.
All these, and also they all count.
Yeah, you do.
They all count. You can't have the bottom of the lineup of your team batting 350, 412, and 318, and then the top of your lineup batting .095 and 120 and 182. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, like if you guys were batting a little bit like higher above the Mendoza line, or at least somewhat close to Mendoza line, then we could pull out some wins. But when the bottom of your lineup is batting better than the top of your lineup, we got problems. Hey,
I'll tell you where you don't find problems. You don't find problems with every other episode of the Three Tool Players podcast on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, and on Spotify. And you got to do us a favor. If you're listening and you like what you just heard, go to wherever you're listening to this right now and hit that review button. Give us a review, 5-star this thing. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Leave us a review. We'd appreciate it because Brian really needs to have his ego stroked.
I do.
So even if you didn't like us, leave a review and voice your displeasures of Brian or myself or Spear because, we want to hear from you guys.
Well, and Brian likes it when you get mad at him. It just fuels his hatred. He's fueled.
I don't hate anybody.
You hate everybody.
I love life. I love everything about it.
Right after you're done leaving us a review, wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you follow us on TikTok and on Instagram at 3toolpod. For Brian and Dan Hammer, I'm Chris Spear, and we thank you for listening to this episode of Three Tool Players.